So this video is for those of you who are running an ecom brand and you're doing between 5 and 7 million per year. You may have broken through 700K per month before, but you can't really get there consistently. You can't really get past it to the 800K months and beyond. So this video, I'm gonna break down the cases, the reasons why this happens. And I'm also gonna talk to you about some solutions that you can implement to scale past that 700K a month mark and break through that ceiling, okay? So there is really two cases. The first case is a scaling problem, okay? So it just means that excuse my writing here, but you are currently spending at a certain level and you're reaching a ceiling, right? Whenever you try to break through the ceiling, your efficiency just pretty much goes out the window, right? And you have to scale back down. What that means is that you're constantly remaining around the same level of ad spend, and based on your efficiency, you're only able to acquire a certain number of customers and then achieve a certain number of new customer revenue, right? So why does this ceiling happen? Well, there's a few cases. The first case could be that you've capped your audience. What I see a lot of brands face is that when they are scaling, you have these things called the 5 stages of customer awareness, right? This is, in any market, there are 5 stages. And basically, you can see this as a continuum here, right? And the most aware stages of the market, all the way on this side, are the easiest to convert. This is where all the brands start, right? And you get some scale there. Then, okay, you go to the people who are, product aware. Then you go to the people who are solution aware, right? And you're able to get a good amount of scale out of these 3 areas, right? And it's pretty easy to convert these people because they don't require a lot of education. However, if you start seeing that you're reaching caps in terms of the ad spend you can achieve, it could be because you're capping out these markets, these segments of the market, right? And you need to expand to the other 2 stages of this stages of customer awareness, which is problem aware, right? And then also unaware, okay? So these 2 require a lot more education to get them towards these stages, and then ultimately the most aware to then purchase from you. So another way to think about this, another visual, is to picture a triangle, right? And let's just say that at the bottom of the triangle, we have the biggest segment of the market, right? These are the people in the unaware stage that we just spoke about. And as a result, they require a lot more education to get them to the top of the triangle. The top of the triangle, you have your most aware that we just spoke about. And those are the people that they're the easiest to convert, right? And then in between you have the other stages that we spoke about. So really what you want to do is you start here and then you want to get down to the bigger areas of the market. Notice how these segments, as you get lower down the triangle, are bigger because there's more people in those, right? There's more people who are unaware than those who are most aware, okay? So that is just one thing. Now, once you understand this, what do you do, right? Well, what you need to do is you need to go back to your research and kind of go back to the drawing board and extract new angles. Because from your research, you're going to find angles, and then from your angles, you're going to be able to create new ad creatives, and you're going to be able to find new angles that work and resonate with those audiences. So that's really the approach. Then obviously you do creative testing. Another place you can test is landing pages. So matching your creative angle with your landing page, of course, to keep in mind, if you're going after those less aware stages of the audience and they require more education, landing pages are going to work in your favor because it just gives you more room to educate the audience on the specific problem and then introduce your product as a solution to them, okay? So that is the first case for this, right? If you're hitting that ceiling. Now, there is another case that can happen when you're hitting the ceiling, and that is your product. Now, in some cases, if you have a niche product, a product that is going after a very small segment of the market, then what happens there is it's quite easy to cap that out pretty quickly, okay? And if you're around the 500K, 600K per month mark, and you're seeing this, then this could be a real issue, right? Now, I've seen it many times, but what happens is there is literally just no more people. Of course, there are probably more people that have seen your ads and that you can sell to that have not been sold, but you're reaching the cap, and then you're seeing that your efficiency is just, you're getting this like diminishing returns over time. And the solution here is you want to introduce new products, okay? You want to introduce new products that appeal to different segments of the market and expand your total addressable market, right? Let's just say that your niche product was, this size. When you introduce more products, you want to be able to expand your market to a greater size. And then that market, you can also sell to all the people, all your existing customers that you were selling to, and you can sell to maybe, 20 million, 30 million more people. So this is really the key here. And it's important that the products that you introduce, for most brands, if you're building an actual e-commerce brand, it needs to make sense under some sort of category, right? Like the parenting or the baby niche. Let's just say you started with something very niche, like a specific, I don't even know, it could be like a a toy or something for babies who have a specific health problem that helps with that health problem or whatever, right? It could be a breathing issue. Now that's a very specific market, right? Once you cap that out, maybe you want to expand then to a little bit of a broader range, but stick within the baby/parenting market, right? So if you get my point there, that is really the approach. So that's the second thing, right? Really, you need to identify where you are. If you know that you don't have a niche product, that you have a product that appeals to the masses, then this is probably not an issue for you, right? And your issue is likely the marketing that we spoke about. It's likely that you are capping out the segments of the audience that you're trying to go after, right? You just need to expand your angles in your creative to appeal to those other segments. So this is the first case, right, with customer acquisition. Now there is a second case, and it's a retention problem. So what I see a lot of brands do is that, especially when they're scaling, they focus a lot of their efforts on new customer acquisition. They really focus on like increasing new customers into the business, and of course it makes sense, right? You have to scale the new customer acquisition. It's what feels most natural. However, I see a lot of brands focus too much on this and they forget the retention side of the game. And when we're talking about retention, we're talking about getting the customers that we have already acquired through ads or whatever method we're using to acquire customers, and getting them to spend more money with us, either through purchasing different products or repurchasing the same product that they already have purchased in the first place. So retention is so important, because otherwise you have a leaky bucket on your hands, right? A very leaky bucket, which means that you are acquiring all these customers into your bucket. This is the bucket, but then a lot of those customers are just leaking out. And what you need to start doing is you need to start plugging those holes in the bucket, so that when your customers come in and acquire them, you keep them in the bucket and you get them to repurchase again and again and again. So this is really the key. Now, retention problems can show up in a few different forms. The first one is like the product line itself is not like, it can't support the ability for customers to purchase again. So you want to look at your product line, and then if you don't have products that are complementary to the main hero product that people are purchasing, then that is a sign that you might want to introduce and launch new products. Now, the best products you can launch are complementary, so you can sell them back to the people that are already in your customer list, right, through email and SMS. But you also, like as I mentioned earlier, you can also tie in launching new products that expand your TAM, right, that give you a greater market to sell to. And that's like a win-win, right, because you're able to increase retention, but you're also able to increase the net that you're casting for new customer acquisition. Okay, so this is like one issue, right? It could be the product line itself that needs to be expanded. However, I've seen some brands that they have a product line already. They have a lot of complementary products, and the post-purchase strategy for getting those customers to come back and purchase from them again or purchase different products is just not optimal enough, right? They're not squeezing everything they can out of that. And the solution here is you need to look at your post-purchase strategy, and you need to identify where are we losing customers and what are some opportunities for us to get customers to come back and purchase from us again rather than leaking out, okay? So this is the big one. The way that you achieve this, right? Again, email, SMS, direct mail is also effective at getting customers to come back and repurchase from you. If you have a consumable product, especially if you have something that can be replenished, then you definitely want to introduce a subscription program of some kind. So this is going to lead to recurring revenue. It's going to lead to compounding revenue. You're going to acquire customers once and they're going to repeat purchase from you without having to acquire them again. It is one of the key growth levers that you can pull if you have a consumable product, okay? And if you don't have a consumable product, you can still get creative and see how you can introduce a subscription program. Think about maybe it's apparel, right? Where if they join a club or some sort of membership, they get first dibs on new products at launch. They get exclusive discounts, they get a product delivered to them every 3 months, right? You can get creative with it and try to introduce something like that. And listen, there are some cases where brands that are struggling to scale past and break through 700K a month, get past 8 million a year. They're facing both of these issues that I described. It's both a acquisition and a ceiling with our ad spend issue and a retention issue. Really what you have to do here is, as I mentioned earlier, identify where you are, right? Identify which of these issues, if not both, you're currently facing, and then start implementing the solutions I spoke about in this video, okay? So if you have, just to recap, if it's a front-end acquisition problem and a scaling ad spend problem, then you want to introduce new angles, right? You want to appeal to larger segments of the market, find new angles that work, go back to the drawing board, do more research, do a lot of creative testing, landing page testing, etc. The other potential issue we spoke about was product, right? Maybe the product has reached a scaling potential because it's too niche, and then therefore you want to expand your product line, right? To appeal to a wider segment of the audience. The second kind of case we spoke about is retention, right? So we spoke about acquisition, now retention. Retention, as we spoke about, was pretty much down to brands not being able to sell upsell existing customers on other products, right, or resell them on the same products they purchased. That being an issue, maybe down to the product line itself, or it's also because of the post-purchase strategy not being optimal to take customers through a journey after they purchase and get them to purchase from you again, educating them on other products, and convincing them on why they're beneficial to purchase. So those are really the two main areas, and that's all for this video. I hope you found this helpful. Let me know in the comments below if you have any questions, right? Because I want to hear from you guys. I want to understand where you're currently at in your business and where I can help with these videos. So yeah, that is all for this video, and I will speak to you soon.